My friends. Well, all right. We had a great day on AMC, up 15.13%. Let's talk about it, okay? But before we jump into the charts, you guys know the deal. If you haven't already, please follow me on Twitter, Colin_Gladman. Easiest way to ask me questions and get my ideas as far as what I'm seeing on day-to-day price action. Also, too, nothing about this channel is financial advice. It is for entertainment and education purposes only. Emphasis on the education part of it. The whole reason I ever started tweeting out my ideas or making videos was to purely provide education services for retail investors, because the more and more of us that are out there and the more educated we become, together we become the whales and not the dudes on Wall Street. So I believe education and knowledge is power, and that is what I am all about. That is why my content stays free. If it helps you at all, please do the usual, like and subscribe. But other than that, let's jump into it. Before I jump into the chart, though, I just want to briefly addressed, some of the drama that has been going on recently with another individual. And the reality is, guys, is my channel is going to be me. It's going to stay me. So there's not going to be, flashy intros and fancy editing and green screens and flashing lights and, clickbait title videos or anything along those lines. If anything, it's going to stay a little bit more, boring and bland, because I like to keep things real, and down to earth. I don't care if I have, like I said, I don't care if I have, 1 view or 1 million views. My information and my content is going to stay the same. I'm not ever going to, go after somebody on the internet. I think that is ridiculous and childish. However, when people come at me, if I feel the need, I'm always going to defend myself. And so that's the way I'm going to approach it, and I'm going to leave it at that. I really have no problem with anybody. I want everybody to win. I say it all the time. I mean it. I believe it. There's too much negativity and hatred in this world anyway. And so I believe in being kind to everybody until you're given a reason not to. All right? Let's move on past that. If you haven't already, I also put out a BBIG video. So if you're interested in that play as well, please feel free to go watch that. But let's talk about girl, Amy. All right. So let me backtrack here. This was my kind of chart I was looking at during the day. So first things first, our falling wedge. We have officially broken out of the falling wedge, and we've retested it. And now our next move has been up with solid volume. And these are all the things that you want to see as far as a good, solid technical breakout is concerned. So does that mean, we can't come back here? Of course not. That's not what it means. However, there's way more reasons to be bullish about the short term, the midterm, and the long term future, rather than there are downside. Really pretty much at this point, which I think I did see that Powell is supposed to talk tomorrow. Pretty much other than him coming out, and us getting some curveball or, something happened with Russia and Ukraine, I think we are going to see a real nice bull run here in the markets, because we've been in a real freaking awful bear run pretty much since middle of November-ish. And that's not just with AMC stock. There was a list that was going around not too long ago where it was basically, everything has been hammered. Anything that you've been holding as long-term has just been absolutely hammered, over the past about 5 to 6 months. And so I think the money is starting to rotate back in. And once again, as of right now, we're still kind of tracking with the overall market. GME had a great day today, but the overall market had a great day today. So that's kind of why we're seeing the rebound, in my opinion, that we are seeing. So what I was looking for, and what I said in my weekly outlook video, was yesterday we went creeping up here. I'm going to go down to the 15-minute time frame so we can just kind of do a little play-by-play. So as of last week, we were just breaking out of the top of the wedge here. I said in my video, which I also posted a little clip of on my Twitter page, that as we came up to the top of this, if we did not have solid volume, we were going to get smacked right off of it. That's exactly what happened. So we had to come back down, we had to refuel, and we had to make another push back up. That pretty much all happened with low volume. But look what happened as soon as we made the actual big push. We had nice big green volume to go along with it. So, dude, where's the little... there it is. We had this. Okay, so to me, this move shows is a very valid move right here. Now, what's going on is it's pretty much consolidating or flagging. Okay, so you could look at it as potentially as, maybe like a little bull flag could be forming up here before the next push up. My most likely scenario, however, is going to be coming down here and retesting the breakout. Okay, and that would be around that 1675 range, right in there. Also, we would want to make sure if we do see the push back down, we would want to be careful because that could also lead to a potential head and shoulders forming. So if we came down here, bounced around, and a push back down here, that could lead to the top of the wedge before coming back up. Okay, that's also another possibility. Not one that I think is, super likely, but it is a possibility. And that's what I always try to prepare everybody for, is just about every possibility. So once again, my overall, idea on what I'm seeing for AMC, I would like to see just a touch here and then just a push back up. Or if the volume keeps increasing, maybe we just consolidate bull flag, before we start pushing back up a little bit there. So going back to the daily, you can see very nice candles. We came up here, like I said, didn't quite retest the top of the range, but overall today's volume was 77. So you can see that has been the highest volume that we have seen since middle of February, since February the 10th. So that is a very good sign. As far as our indicators are concerned, if we look at the RSI, all right, just getting over neutral territory here on the RSI. So 50 is neutral, currently sitting at 57 on the daily. I always say if you're watching more of the micro time frame, so if you're watching it like on the 5-minute or the 15-minute, you'll see that RSI get hot throughout the day. That's when you're going to have your pullbacks. But as far as the daily is concerned, we still have plenty of time to we have plenty of room to run on the RSI. We are literally as high on the RSI as we have been since that middle of November. So this is a good day, my friends. I really like it. If we look at the OBV, so I tweeted out this picture right here. Okay, so our in between the Jan and the June run, you can see where OBV kind of formed a pennant and it briefly dipped below before pushing back up. And now you can see, using kind of that same line the entire time, we're dipping back below. Are we going to push back up and start making our way back up? I don't know for sure. With a lot of volume, that type of move definitely can happen. Right now, what we're getting stuck with, and so like I said, you can see that right here. Once again, please go look at my tweet that has it all written out. But if you look right here, we're starting to run into our significant resistance. And this is kind of why I said, I really thought that somewhere around that, 1750 to 1850 might be the top for this week. But we already made a bigger move today than I thought we would, being as honest as I can. So I was wrong. All right. But I really thought maybe we might break up in here just a little bit, get to that 1750, and then that's kind of when we would make our test before we would start pushing back up. But overall, breaking through this resistance, which is really going to be here, since about mid-January. So we've been underneath this, for roughly 2 months now. So I do think the most likely scenario is slight pullback, refueling a little bit. Like I've said in a bunch of my videos before, we did not have an 80% drop overnight. We're not going to have an 80%, move overnight, in my opinion. Obviously, would love to be wrong about that. But I just think, once again, I always try to keep it in reality and not some of these ridiculous price targets that I see on the regular, okay? Like I said, that's why I started posting my ideas. There were just so many just wild and crazy ideas from people in the community that was just like, man, there's just not enough realistic, insane people out there. And so that's why I started posting. But that's not what this is about. Let's move on. So I think the most realistic thing that we're looking for, like I said, is maybe some refueling before a push back up. We also could see a push back up before a pin towards max pain on Friday. Right now, max pain for this week is sitting at 1550. Okay. So if we moved up before we pulled back, towards the end of the week, let's see here, the end of this week is the 25th. So, as of right now, I could definitely see us beating max pain this week. And obviously, max pain changes throughout the week. So, like I said, I said on my weekly outlook, I thought bullish-wise, we'd be finishing up around that, 1750 range. Holy cow. Are we moving up to 1950 right now? Hold on one second. Let's see if this is right. Yeah, so we're up to $19.10 right now in after hours as I'm making this video. So that is quite the after hours push, and GameStop is up $5.41 in after hours. So again, guys, with volume, everything is possible. I talked about how Mullen made a 300% move in basically a week and a half. So anything is possible with the right volume. There's definitely going to be people that are going to be exiting, short positions when it comes to, higher interest rates, the cost to borrow creeping up, all that good stuff. So it's looking good. So let's just keep our fingers crossed. Let's keep our heads to the ground. Once again, no matter what, don't let greed get in the way of your gains. If we look at the so the 2.618 would take us up to around the $31 range. The 3.618 would take us up to 38. 1.618 would take us up to about 25. So like I said, there's definitely a lot of really solid upside targets. But obviously with this move right now going on in after hours, there's definitely way more reason to be bullish than bearish. So that's gonna be what I'm looking for, my friends. Let's keep on keeping on pushing up. And remember, when I talked about the cycle stuff, like I said, lots of people were talking about this January run back here. I also made a case for it could look like this April one, where we had a nice little push up before it got pulled back. So, until, for me personally, until we really start getting up here, back up into the 40s or so, then until we start making a new sign of strength up here around this $45 to $50 range, I'm going to keep my jets relatively cool. Of course, I'm going to be excited. I'm excited about today. All right, so but I'm going to keep my jets pretty cool as far as all-time highs are concerned or anything along those lines. But good things are coming. This is why it pays to be patient. All right, it pays to be patient. Y'all have a great day. Got a lot of week left. We'll see what happens. Be good.